Hello, welcome back to Chasing Butterflies, this episode of This Club Sucks. I'm here with my friend Gina Tamburillo, and we are going to be discussing her journey and her grief process. So we have known each other for probably, I've guesstimated, about 37 years through good family friends, and unfortunately, she is in our club about 2 years in. And I would like for you to start when you're ready and just tell me, this is your first experience with grief besides maybe grandparents?
Yes.
Or, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So she's going to tell me all about her son, Matthew.
So my son Matthew, he was born March 3rd, 1999. It is coming up on his 2-year angelversary, which will be this Saturday, March 22nd. We lost him in 2023. He was 24 years old, forever 24.
Beautiful young
Yep,
man.
yep.
That's why we have his picture here.
That's right. He's the oldest of my 3 kids. The best big brother they could ask for. But
So how did Matthew become an angel?
So Matthew became an angel. He fentanyl poisoning, just plain out simple. Took something laced with fentanyl, which we know is a terrible
Yeah.
pandemic
Way
going
too much.
around. It's
Yeah.
everywhere.
It's way too much.
Yeah.
Do you know, did he ever experiment with drugs or,
Oh
whatever?
yeah, I'm sure. I mean, he went to Clear Lake High School,
Yeah.
and then off to Lubbock to Texas Tech. Graduated from Texas Tech.
Yeah. Just
So,
a
yeah.
horrible accident.
Yeah.
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 So can you tell me a little bit about the night that, y'all got the call?
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
dreaded call?
So he was living in Cyprus. He had some roommates. We found out 30 days prior that maybe he was experimenting a little bit too much with some drugs. So as soon as we found that out, he got sent him somewhere for 30 days and got help. After that, he moved into what they called a sober living home. So he was going to stay there for a little bit. He was supposed to, so that weekend he was going with his girlfriend at the time, and they were going to get a room in Galveston or something like that. And then on his way home from Galveston that Sunday, he was supposed to stop by and he was going to talk to us about moving back and staying with us and what the arrangement was going to be. And then that afternoon he called and said, I'm not going to be able to come by. I'm running late for my meeting. I'm just going to head straight home. So I said, okay, we'll talk this week. No big deal. So I told Chris, I said, he's not coming by. I don't have work Monday. Let's take out of town. We were going to go to Lake Charles for the night. So we're there. And later that night, we're in bed about 9 p.m., sleeping. Went to bed. 1 o'clock in the morning, my phone starts going off. Unknown number. And I normally don't answer calls, especially in the middle of the night. And they kept calling and calling. Chris was like, answer your phone. Answer the phone. It was Cypress Hospital. And they were like, Miss Tamburillo, and yes, and you have a son named Matthew? Yes, well, he's here. I'm like, okay, what's going on? It took me a minute. I'm out of a dead sleep.
Yeah.
It took me a minute, and he proceeded to say, they found him in his room at his house, and the roommates, called 911, and they went there, did whatever they did. I don't know if they ever fully resuscitated him. They did get a heartbeat back. And then when he got to the hospital, they said he went into cardiac arrest again, but got him back. Anyway, let me get back to the phone call. Called, picked up the phone. They told us what was going on. I threw the phone to Chris. I was like, let's pack up. We got to go. So then we started calling everybody because it was going to be 2 hours before we could get there. Called my parents. Can y'all please get there? He's been there. They haven't been able to get a hold of us. They've had him since like 11 o'clock already, and it's 1. Couldn't get a hold of anybody. I don't know why they didn't have my number or whatever. But so start calling family, meet us there so he's not alone. We didn't know. I really didn't know or comprehend what was going on. So we arrived in Cyprus about 2 hours later. Thank God my mom and my sister, everybody was there. They had him there, and he was, hooked up to machines. He wasn't awake or anything like that. So that's how that started. And they said his roommates we talked to said Matthew was going to lay down. It was about 6:37. He was going to take a little nap. Even his girlfriend said the same thing. And then one roommate said when he went back in the room, he said Matthew, he was snoring, which is weird because Matthew doesn't snore. So he said, so I walked out of the room. I was going to go sit in the living room and watch a movie for a little while. So he said that and then when he came back in a few minutes later, he knew something was wrong. And that's when they called 911. They tried to administer Narcan too. That, they didn't get that to work. I think he'd already been down too long.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, when y'all got to the hospital, about how long was it before they said, he's not going to...
Yeah, they said it. They never said that. They just kept saying it doesn't look good.
Yeah.
We don't think there's any brain activity.
I'm having
He was down.
flashbacks right now.
He was down for a long time before they called 911 or EMS or anything. So it just from the get-go didn't look good.
Yeah.
But they were still going to run tests and do brain scans and all that stuff before making the final call, which was a few days later.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody's a little bit different, which we don't have to talk anyway about that, what I was going to talk about, because we're talking about you.
That's okay, whatever.
So your whole family was there with you and supportive and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. We were probably in the hospital, that was Sunday night. We were probably there, I can't really, March 22nd. I'm trying to think of the day we went there. Was the 20th or the 19th? I think it was the 19th was Sunday. And then we were there, almost all that week. Because then, come to find out, once we had to make the terrible decision to take him off life support, we found out he was an organ donor. So then we were there a few more days, which I'm thankful we had that time, and everybody got to come and see him and say their goodbyes. And
I just remember Elliot calling me hysterical.
Yep.
And then my heart broke in a billion pieces for you and your family, and it was I was like, not again. That's all I could think is
somebody else,
and somebody else that you cared about, and knew from their little boy, and
yeah, I have pictures of Elliot and Matthew in their Halloween costumes.
Anyway,
and that was a tough thing too, was calling my kids that night.
Oh, yeah.
Madeline was in College Station, and it was the middle of the night, and I'm blowing up her phone. These kids, they don't answer their phones either, I'm calling her roommate Emma. Then I had to call Emma's mom, and was like, please, somehow, can you get a hold of Emma? We've had a family emergency. I've got to get a hold of Madeline. So that somebody finally got a hold of Madeline. She called me hysterical, not even really knowing
the details.
And she was like, what's going on? I'm like, can you just pack a bag, and can Tanner, drive you? Can somebody just get you here? So, and then everybody, they all started showing up.
And where was Jerry?
Little Jerry was, I don't know. He was in his own world at this time. I was still getting a hold of him.
Yeah.
It took him a while to come up there.
Yeah.
He didn't come until the next day. He couldn't.
Well, it's probably struggling.
He's like, he goes, I can't. He goes, I'm already broken. I can't. I was like, you've got to come up here for your brother.
Yeah.
So he did end up coming, I believe, later the next day, because we were there Sunday night about 1 a.m, and he probably came Monday afternoon.
Yeah.
But it took him a while to go back in the room to see him.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about Matthew.
Okay.
Tell me about his personality.
Oh gosh, he is so silly. First of all, he was my worry wart.
Oh.
Worried about everything. Every day he would call me, Mom, I've got this pain. What do you think it is? Mom, I have this. Do you think I have cancer? Mom, I'm going bald. What can I do? So we would just laugh. I'm like, what's he going to call about today?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was silly. He was fun.
Yeah.
But so sweet.
Yeah.
Kind-hearted.
That's good.
Yeah.
Those are the best traits to have, honestly. So you did have some miracles through all this with organ donation.
Yes.
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 Have you had any contact with any of the recipients?
I have. It took a little while, but
Yeah.
so you can't be in contact with them, of course, directly at
Right.
first. So you send cards to the life gift
Mm-hmm.
people, and then they mail them out. So then I heard from one of his, last year, I heard from one of his kidney recipients, and then, that was the first. I don't even know what year I'm in. So in 2023, I heard from one of his kidney recipients, and then at the end of last year, I heard from his liver recipient.
Okay.
So it's crazy. It's
Is
crazy.
it just like through a letter?
Through a card,
Through a
and
card?
then so I sent a card, and then they can write back to me directly because I sent my address. I sent everything.
Yeah.
You can definitely be in contact.
You want my social security number?
Here's my email. Here's my phone number. You can reach out to me any way you
Yeah.
want. I do not mind.
Yeah.
So, been in contact with them. They're doing well. The liver recipient, I
amazing.
heard from her. Hadn't heard from her in a while, but then I got a letter from her a couple days right before Matthew's birthday this month. His birthday was March 3rd, so I heard from her right before that. So I was like, perfect timing. And she's from Phoenix, Arizona. And she was like, if you're ever out in Arizona, come visit. And I'm like, girl, I am booking my air flight right now. I'm coming. But I would love to one day
Yeah.
hopefully meet her.
I would just think that would be so. It's like they live on through him.
Yeah.
And I mean, they do.
Yeah.
It's not like it.
Yeah.
Um,
It would be so neat.
yeah.
I want me
I
and
would
my
think
kids
so.
to go. And
Chase was a donor, but his organs weren't viable by the time, it was,
Yeah.
I just think it's amazing. Would you ever
Yeah.
consider being a donor?
well,
I am, but
you are, and see, I'm not. But I think the next time when I do my driver's license, I can sign it.
I mean,
now.
they
It
don't want
doesn't
my
have to be
liver.
on my dress-
but
right, right. Yeah,
so that's
it's-
really cool. Now, tell me about today. How's Madeline
I think they're coping.
coping? Yeah.
I don't know. They don't show. Jerry's more emotional, or shows his emotion more. Madeline, she is
closed book.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Like today, today we picked out Matthew's footstone at the cemetery, and I was trying to figure out what wording to put on there, and so I was sending to her, is there anything y'all want to add, change? Whatever you pick, I'm sure is fine, is what she said.
Yeah.
She just,
Well,
she doesn't like to talk about it.
Yeah.
She does, I think she does whatever in her own time, like, I don't know whether it's her reading her book or her verses on her own, but she doesn't like to talk about it.
Well,
at all.
And I just remember, I was a little kid, but I never wanted to take it to my mom because I knew my mom was struggling to keep it all together. I mean, she had 7 kids to, when my dad passed away. And then when my brother passed away, same thing. She was just trying to take care of us. And it's like, I'm not going to bring her my grief, But, maybe that's what she's doing.
Maybe, I
Yeah.
don't know. It's hard on all of us. I really feel for them. 'cause
Yeah, it is hard.
Matthew was their best friend.
Yeah.
Their best bud. So
Yeah, I can imagine. Oh my God. How's your parents? I know they've never experienced losing a grandchild.
brokenhearted.
Yeah,
They're all brokenhearted.
yeah. How do they manage their grief?
My mom and dad, my mom is real big in her faith, and I think she just prays a lot, and they go to church every weekend, and they're strong.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
strong.
they have to be for
Yeah.
you. But, I know they were very close, so.
Yes.
It's hard on them.
Yeah. And I
Um,
think still everybody is still kind of in shock, like
Yeah.
disbelief. Like I feel like he's
Yeah, it's only
just
been
still
2
off at
years.
school, I
Yeah.
feel like he's still at school and he's gonna come home for a break maybe one day.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. That's that fantasy world again
Yeah.
we were talking about.
Yeah.
How do you handle your, like, when you're struggling, what is your go-to?
I
I mean, it's always a struggle, but
It
at
is.
this point.
My job helps me a lot.
It's a distraction.
It's a distraction. And I have to be bubbly and I have to be a people person. And, it just depends on the day. Some days I go to work and I can't get it together, But my job, if I'm at home, I'll put in our, home videos. I went and had everything transferred over from the tapes to a flash drive. And
I still haven't done that.
yeah, there's a lady right in Friendswood that will do it.
Is it
And,
called
I can't think of it. Something video com.
Keepsake Videos?
Keepsake.
Okay, they've
yeah.
done stuff for me before.
I think you referred me to her.
Oh, maybe I did.
think you did. I think that's where
They
I
did
got
our-
it from.
for-
Because I was going to ship everything off, remember?
Yeah.
And I think you gave me, I think you referred
I think it was our 25th wedding anniversary. I surprised Richie and had our wedding video put up.
Yeah.
Girl, we laughed so hard. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And I won't even get into the stories, but I was glad I did it.
Yeah.
Because we had that's what we did that night. On our anniversary, we just sat and watched the video and
Yeah.
ate dinner. And it was
And
was
we'll
fun.
do that. We'll do that a lot. We'll pop that
Yeah.
in and we'll watch our home videos
Yeah.
when the kids were little.
Did you love hearing his voice?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Baby
it's
voice.
The best.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a good support system?
I do.
Chris?
Yes.
And, yeah.
Chris, I don't know how he's stuck by my side. I mean, he is literally my punching bag.
He knows you're just hurting.
He knows.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
knows. Yes.
Yeah.
We have great family, friends. I don't know what we would do
Oh,
without
I
him.
know. It's the best. That's why I kind of wanted to do this, is just to pay it forward. And when somebody's giving you so much love, I'm like, I have to give it back someday, somehow. And I think this is how I'm trying to do it. And it's unfortunate that I know so many people that have lost children.
I know. There's more people than you realize.
I don't
that-
remember that when we were kids. It is unbelievable. And I don't know if it's because there's more people in the world. I don't know. Or I just don't remember that, as being a kid. So do you remember maybe the last thing you may have said to Matthew?
Yeah, I have the text. It was a text message. It was a text message that said, and like I said, he said, "Oh, can we meet up this week?" And I said, "Yeah, perfect. That'll be fine." Didn't know it was going to be the last message
Yeah, you did.
ever. And I'll still text his phone sometimes.
I used to call his phone number
Yeah.
until someone started answering. I was like,
No.
I guess they gave his phone number away. I was like, okay, they're going to think I'm a weirdo. I'm going to not call his phone number anymore because I felt insane.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. But hey.
So is there anything that really just triggers you?
Gosh, I don't know. It depends on the day. I can't think of one certain thing. I mean, it could be a song. It could be,
People still send me stuff,
yeah.
or one friend sent me a video of her lighting a candle in Spain.
Oh.
And I was just
Nice.
like, what?
I know.
I was like, that is so
Yeah.
sweet.
Well, I was telling you about a friend of mine texted me that her son had a dream about Matthew.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, everybody still thinks about
Yeah,
him,
that's what I think is helpful for me, is that people don't forget.
Yeah.
And, on let's see, on his anniversary date this past December, two of his friends and one of his friends' moms all texted me. And I knew who put him up to it, but it didn't matter. It was the thought.
Yeah.
And they went into detail about, how much they missed him. And it just means a lot, I think.
It means a lot.
I
When
think
you
it
get
means a
those
whole lot.
messages, some of
So
Matthew's-
any of y'all out there that want to contact Gina or me, we'd love to hear about all your memories.
That's right. We love
Because
the memories.
the
That's-
older I get, the more they're going away, sadly. I hate
Yeah,
it.
but it's always nice when one of Matthew's friends will reach
Absolutely.
out and send a sweet message. I sure miss that kid,
Yeah.
Or if I know somebody's gone out to the cemetery and paid him a visit,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything do you feel like you left anything unsaid?
Well, I mean, of course, that day, because usually before I hang up the phone with my kids, we tell them with them. They say, "Love you, Mom." I say, "Love you more" every time.
Yeah.
That conversation.
That's
did
the
not
law
end
in my
that way.
family. I don't even care if you're mad.
Yeah.
You say it anyway.
That
Love you.
that
Hang up on me, but you
conversation
better.
did
Yeah.
not end with that, and I'm just. But he knows.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I just wish that day I would have probably begged him a little more to come by, but I knew he had to get back to the other side of town to his meeting. Is
Yeah.
what he told me, and I just wish. Are you sure you don't have just 5 minutes? I wish I would have
Yeah.
pressed it more, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is there anything you do, like an activity or self-help that, like working out, whatever?
Yes, I do.
Isn't it great for your mental
I
health?
do. Yes, because yesterday I was having a crap day.
Yeah.
And me and my girlfriend Maria, we go to a little fit camp by the house, and it was the best 30 minutes after that.
Yeah.
I felt better.
Yeah.
I felt better.
Well, it releases endorphins that
Mm-hmm.
I wish I would have figured out quicker because I didn't do that.
And don't get me wrong, there's days where I'll just hold up in my room.
Yeah.
I don't feel like doing anything. I don't feel like talking to anybody, and I'll just lay in my bed.
Yeah. And that's called self-help sometimes too. As long as you're not doing it 24/7,
Yeah.
every day, So is there any recommendations you could offer a parent that might be new to this horrible place?
You just have to take it day by day.
Yeah.
I don't know
agree.
what tomorrow's going to hold. I don't know how I'm going to feel tomorrow. I have, like I told you, a friend going through it now at the very beginning stages, and I just told her, I said, you have to take care of yourself, especially right now, because the next few weeks are going to be
Tough.
grueling, and you have to, no matter how much you don't want to eat, you have to eat something. You have to stay hydrated. You have to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
'Cause I said, if people did not send food to our house during that time, I wouldn't have gotten up to eat or go anywhere to eat.
Yeah.
They were wonderful.
Yeah.
Having food delivered to our house during that time was a godsend.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't know. I would have wasted away.
That's that-
You don't care about nothing,
Yeah.
but you have to
But
take
how you're
care of yourself.
feeling, you're so immersed in it. I always compare it, especially in the beginning, I felt like I was drowning and someone just kept dunking me underwater and I couldn't get a breath. And I was like, it took everything, especially the first couple of years. So like for me, the day before the anniversary was the worst. How are you feeling? You've got a couple more days for.
Yeah, I've had anxiety this week. I could
Yeah.
tell, like today, when I went to my mom's a minute ago, I was like, I just have this sick or just this pain in my stomach, and I know it's nerves
Yeah.
and anxiety.
Yeah.
And I knew, them going to the cemetery today to pick out the footstone. They were doing that. His birthday was just March 3rd, and
Yeah.
March 22nd is his 2-year anniversary. It's a lot.
It is like
It's a lot.
Chase's.
Like I may look like I have it together
Yeah.
on the outside,
Yeah.
but
I remember when
It's a
people
lot.
would go, "God, you're so strong." I'm like, "You have no
That's-
idea what
yeah.
my insides look
yeah, or
like."
you don't see me on the weekend when
Yeah.
I'm walking around here looking like a bum and I haven't fixed my hair or
Yeah.
anything. Like,
Yeah. And it's just I call it self care. You just do what you can on the day-to-day basis to survive. And I hated when people would say this, but now I know it's true. But time does heal. You never get over it. You just learn to move through the motions, or I guess even though I'm out of it several years, it's still.
it's still with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't get over.
No.
Grief is love with no place to go.
Right.
And I love that saying because it's so true.
I do like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you honor Matthew on a daily basis?
Oh gosh, so there's so many things. I have his big picture, black and white picture, hanging on my wall. Crazy as it seems, I walk by, I talk to it every morning.
It's okay.
I always give him a kiss there. I've got things in my car with his picture. I've got, we go out to the cemetery, we decorate it for everything.
Yeah.
It could be Valentine's, We've already got decorated for Easter. Just, I'm trying to think of someone else. I can't think of it on the top of my head, but I don't know. I honor him every day in my own way.
Yeah.
I talk to him on the way to work in the mornings, you know.
Yeah. That's good. Because I'm convinced they can hear us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And another thing is like when I hear somebody speak ill of somebody that's passed, I'm like, that's bad luck. Don't ever do that.
Yeah.
I don't care if they made you mad when you're in third grade.
Get over it.
Or, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, you never speak ill. I feel like it's like an omen. It's probably silly, but that's just how I feel. Do you have a favorite memory?
Oh, I don't have just one. There are so
know.
many. There are so many. My favorite, when he was older, we all took a trip for his 21st birthday to New Orleans with my parents.
Oh,
And this
fun.
was in 2020, right before everything, the
Shut
world
down.
shut down. So that was a great one. He, had his money. He could go gamble.
Literally like a
Yeah.
week before.
Yes, we got out of there right before
Oh, thank
it shut
goodness.
down. So that's one. There's so many when they were little, him playing baseball, graduating from Texas Tech. That's a
yeah.
huge
Very
honor.
proud, yeah.
Very proud moment. But just, I don't know. Now they're all just my favorite. They're
Yeah.
all my favorites because I would give anything to have those
Yeah.
days back.
I have a favorite of him and my daughter played Little League baseball
Yes.
together. And then when we lived down the street from each other, them playing in the driveway, and we'd sit out there, and they
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
were just
in
so
the
cute.
cul-de-sac.
And I remember when you told me you're pregnant with Jerry.
Oh, yeah.
And what a blessing.
What a blessing. I
Yeah.
thank God I have him.
I know. But, I could see how you weren't really
Yeah.
planning, and all of a sudden you're
Oh.
like, oh, you're going to have another.
Yeah,
you're like,
Madeline was only 6 months old or
Yeah.
something like that. And I was like, oh my God.
I
how
came
did
down
this
there for
happen?
something, and you open the door and you're sobbing. I'm like, what's wrong?
My parents did the same thing. I was like, y'all have to get over here. Or they were already on their way over. And I guess I just found out while they were on their way over. And
Yeah.
when they answered the door, I was booing.
Yeah.
They're like, what happened?
What did he do that would make you laugh the most?
Oh, gosh. Just dancing around the house,
I would love that.
dancing, or like my parents say, their favorite is when he would come out of the bathroom with the toothbrush in his mouth, and he's got toothpaste
Everywhere.
over. And Grandma, what's going on with my hair, or whatever. He is funny. He's a
So,
character.
I just like to always say a little something, and it's funny because this week I read a quote that I guess Jim Carrey had lost his parents, and I read it on this day, and the next day my sister-in-law sent it to me. I was like, that's weird. But this is what he said. He goes, in the beginning it feels unbearable, like a wound that will never close. Over time the raw edges begin to mend. A pain softens, but the imprint remains, a quiet reminder of what was once. The truth is, you never really move on. You move with it. The love that does not disappear, it transforms. It lingers in the echoes of laughter, in a warmth of old memories, in the silence of moments where you still reach for what is no longer there. That's okay. Grief is not a burden to be hidden. It is not a weakness to be ashamed of. It is proof that love existed and that something beautiful once touched your life. So let yourself feel it. Let yourself mourn. Let yourself remember. There's no timeline and no right way to grieve. Some days will be heavy, and some days will feel lighter. Some moments will bring you unexpected waves of sadness, while others will fill you with a gratitude for the love you're lucky enough to have. And right now, I want to do a toast to Matthew, because we're
Yes.
coming up on his little Angel Day. We gather here today with heavy hearts, but also with memories of laughter and love that Matthew brought into everyone's life. His spirit, though gone from our sight, will forever remain in our hearts. May he rest in peace, and may we find solace in the love he shared with everyone. I raise my glass to Matthew, a son, a grandson, a brother, a friend, a treasure forever on our minds and always in our hearts. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
that.
I appreciate you being here and sharing Matthew's story. My prayer is that we will help another parent or a friend
Yeah,
or a sister
I
or
hope so.
somebody, and that, you can laugh and it's okay. And I think that's what our boys would want, is for us to laugh and enjoy our life and live our life like
Yeah.
we're supposed to live it.
Yeah.
And just cherish the memory and don't ever forget. They're blessings to us.
They are. I'm very thankful for the
Me too.
24 years I had.
Me
of course,
too.
I wish.
Yeah, of course it would continue.
Yeah.
But if it isn't, then we're going to make them proud,
Yeah.
of the moms that we are and
Yeah.
the love that we'll always have no matter what.
Yeah. No
Until my
matter what.
memory's gone.
That's right. Me too. And it's half gone. I feel. It's
Thank
definitely
you
not
very
what it
much.
was.
And please, everybody, remember Matthew on Saturday. It will be his 2-year Angel Day, and we want to honor him the best way we can. Thank you so much.